Hello and welcome to Experiencing Love. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I'm so glad that you're here. I gotta admit, it is currently past 3 in the morning, and I'm just now starting to record. And it's not because I forgot, or I was so busy and so behind. It's because I had nothing today. I had nothing I wanted to bring up, nothing I wanted to talk about. Even though my cardinal rule when it comes to this podcast is just press record and talk. What will come to me will come to me. So while I sat here and waited, trying to come up with an idea, I instead distracted myself for hours. And the moral of the story, the takeaway, is that you shouldn't just wait for inspiration to strike before you start working, before you start doing the thing, before you start moving forward. Don't wait. Don't wait for the perfect idea. Don't wait for the aha moment. Don't wait for the stars to align, because before you know it, you'll miss any chance you've ever had. I had the chance to go to sleep at a reasonable time today. I really did. That chance is gone. That also means that the chance I wake up at a reasonable time tomorrow is also gone. At least, if I do wake up at a reasonable time, it's fair to say I might not be as rested as I usually am. Now I have to pick. Now I have to choose. I have to choose the lesser of two evils. Because I waited. Don't wait. Start now. I once heard this comparison between millionaires and billionaires, being that the difference between the two is that while a millionaire may be weighing two options or trying to make a decision, a billionaire has already acted, failed, and learned and pivoted from whatever they've done, whatever decision they made, and they've done that at least 5 times. The person who is speaking was making a point that in order to reach a whole new magnitude of impact, of success, of finances, in whatever area you want to improve, it requires action. You have to get rid of hesitancy. And I think there's a difference between being hesitant and gathering information. When you're hesitant, you're not looking for more information. You have the information, or you have some base level of information, and you're just going back and forth between options. Now that I think about it, then there is other layers, like you're gathering information, but you're gathering a level of information that you don't need, meaning the impact of having that information and waiting on that information is greater than actually just making a choice. And this is with the caveat, like with many things in our lives, it all depends. It depends on the circumstances, of course. There's always going to be exceptions to the rules. There's always going to be rules to the exceptions. So rather than deal with exceptions, I want to deal with rules. And as a rule of thumb, I want to take action. I want to do what must be done as soon as I can do it. Because the faster I make mistakes, the more mistakes I can make in a day. The more mistakes I can make in a day, the more ways that I can grow in that day. If I make 10 times more mistakes than the average person every day, and I'm already learning and growing from those mistakes, then I'm going to grow 10 times faster than anybody I'm being compared to. And when it comes to making these mistakes, I find that I choose to make the types of mistakes where I can make a lot of them in a row with very little impact on my life, yet with the possibility of great rewards on the other side. That's something called asymmetric risk reward, where it's not 50-50. It's more like a 20 to 80 risk ratio, like risking $20 at the possibility of making $80. Because in that case, you could risk $20 once, fail, and risk another $20, fail again, and then risk $20 a third time. And if it works, you get the $80 and you're still up 20. That's a very basic example, but pretty much that's how I look at the opportunities that I want to take up in my life. I'm more than willing to spend thousands of dollars if the potential return on spending that money is multiple times more. So honestly, I'm a little saddened by myself and how I didn't act sooner. And if I'm going to be honest, it's because I didn't want to act sooner. No point of acting all high and mighty now that I've actually started recording and I'm looking at my actions. I knew what I was doing, and I was following the concept. Intentions equals results. Our intentions are our truest motivations, and our results specifically pertain to how we think, feel, and behave. So when I look at my behavior, I look at my actions, they directly point to what my intentions were. A result in my life is that I waited until 3 a.m. to start recording this episode, and it was my intention to wait until 3 a.m. to start recording this episode. A result in my life is that I sleep till noon, and it's my intention to sleep till noon. A result in my life is that I've stopped going to the gym 5-6 days a week, and it's my intention to stop going to the gym 5-6 days a week. There's many ways that I can use this concept, use this line, but I often just use it as a reminder. A reminder of self-awareness and of being honest with myself, rather than lie to myself about what my intentions should be, are. I tell the truth. I say it how it really is. Because when we lie to ourselves, we're giving ourselves this ideal where we're making it seem like life is any different than it really is. And this is just a tool. It's one of the many tools in my tool belt. I could use this to shift my frame of focus, even just for a moment. I look at myself, and sometimes it's just enough to say it out loud. That's enough to nudge me to do something different. And sometimes I find that instead of trying to do these many steps to change my intentions, like reciting it out loud or writing it down, sometimes I just start with action. Sometimes my truest intentions don't change until I actually do the thing. It's like this perpetuating cycle where I do the thing once or twice and I notice it makes me feel a certain way. And so I do it again and again, and I feel those things again and again, and I do it over and over and over again. It just takes that deliberate action at first. And after some time, I can start saying that it's my intention to act a certain way because I do those things. I behave that way. I think that way. I feel that way. In this case, I think the results come before the intention, at least in the way that I understand it. I think it's similar to the quote, fake it till you make it. Rather than become a certain person, a certain type of person, you first act as if you're that person already. Behave how they would behave. Think how they would think. Feel how they would feel. And before you know it, that's just who you are. And once you are those things, then you can look back and say, it's your intention to have become that person. But it's really hard to start off by saying, I want to change. It's my intention to change. Because our words can hold very little power in that regard. I guess by that I mean in comparison to action. When we put it into our body and not just into our mind, when we really live a certain way, that's how it becomes who we are. Nah, I'm losing myself even now. That's alright. I know there's something I said that was right. And by right, I don't mean correct. I just mean that I was meant to say it. It's time for bed. I've said what needs to be said. And if there's anything that I could share with you, it's that you should just take action. Just do the thing. Don't wait. The rewards you'll get for waiting dwarfs in comparison to the rewards you get for being right on taking fast action. Do it smart and do it fast. I know you got this. I know you can. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Remember to always fill up with the love. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.